Another day, another conference has been done. Well, actually 2 conferences have been done today. Sony and Nintendo, and it's going to be broken into the Sony parts and the Nintendo parts, and it's going to be a little bit different. And rather than what I did with the Xbox, where I talk about all the games, I'm going to talk about my feelings and thoughts about everything. So first of all, we're going to start with Sony, and to be honest, after last year, I had mixed feelings about this. Last year, I was so excited about PlayStation 4. I really wanted to go out and I wanted to buy a PS4 for exactly everything they said. But when they started showing the games this year, I was bored. I actually had to force myself to watch it. Only at the end, it's where it started picking up. When they were talking about the console, and again, if you don't know, I kind of thought that they were basically sticking their finger up to Nintendo, and I'll explain that in a little bit. First of all, they talked about random things like Destiny. You could buy a new console in white, and you got Destiny, and it's 500 gig, and you got a white controller, and you got the game, and that was kind of cool when it looked around it. And then they started talking about other games and kind of throwing stuff out. And when I started watching it, I don't think there were that many titles I wanted to buy until near the end. Entwined, that was, or Entangled or Entwined, that's the one I liked possibly the most at the very beginning, because I like the concept of what they did. It was not a major big studio, it was these people I think coming out of college, university or something, and they just decided to make this game, and it was 2 lovers that were kind of, that couldn't be together, but then intertwined to become a dragon at the end. And I thought this was actually quite good. I know there probably have been games like that, but the way the visuals started showing were absolutely awesome, and it just seemed like a really nice game to play. Not a really hard one, because obviously you have to do things in it, but again, it was a nice game to play, just to kind of get you in the mood for playing it. Far Cry 4 would look very impressive, and one thing I did like you mentioned, was this whole thing of like, if you don't have the game yourself, you can invite your friends to play on the PSN network. And I thought, well, that's actually quite good, that's unique. You know, that means that, you know, if you've got friends who really want to play it, that haven't bought the game, can't afford it, you just invite them to play your game, and that's really cool. You know, actually interact with you on whatever, either the Vita or on their PlayStation consoles, and that was cool. But again, the games seem to be a lot more darker. Some games like, say, Dead Island 2 was interesting. I liked the way, and at first, when this guy's looking at his hand going, oh, I've just been bitten, and he's just running, listening to his music, I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe he's a super person, he's not been infected. And the way that he started to degrade all the way through the video as stuff was going on, pretty much sold the game for me. I like that. I like the interaction of it. It was set in downtown LA on Venice Beach, that's the one. I think it's Venice Beach, and I thought that was cool. I liked it. It made me want to actually play the game. And apparently there's a Diablo 3 Ultimate Edition which has Dead Island stuff in it or something, which again, not too bad. Something cool, unique, something different, and again, a different way to play the game, shall we say. There are other games. Now, one thing that really got me was Disney Infinity. Now, I've looked on this now, and I knew I now know that it was more of like, you know, everyone has things, but when they were talking about saying it was an exclusive, that they've got an exclusive pack, I was thinking, oh, does that mean that Xbox is not getting it or whatever? But apparently they are, so I'm quite happy with that one, because I would have hated that just to be one console only, and also it would have lost a lot of money because there was lots of people who play Xbox. I mean, out of all of them, I mean, some of them did stand out a lot. What's the one? No Man's Sky. Now that kind of stood out. I liked when they were talking about it. It had, like, to me, it kind of had to feel like a Pokemon Snap, and also with the way it can scan stuff. The way they described it was an open world, it was infinite, there is no boundaries, and this I kind of like. They said that they didn't even know either, and this seems to, at first I was like, really? You don't even know you're programming it? But then the way I thought about it, and the way that you can have an interaction, and again, each person's experience is completely different. I like that sort of thing. I like the way that they put things in this way. It's something different, and again, it's unique, and it can mean you have a lot of fun. It means that when you go to your friend's world, or if you show your friends, they will see something completely different each time, and that's quite cool. So it's a unique gameplay experience each time you play for it. For me, when they started going on to console specs and what they wanted to do, this is what caught my eye. It was stuff they were saying was more that they had experienced. And one thing that picked me up is a lot. Obviously with Sony and Microsoft, they have endorsed YouTube, because obviously it's a major big thing to actually have to promote games, because you watch the game that I play, boom, want to go play it. Or I watch a gameplay video of someone else playing it, or I watch you play the games, whatever you wanted, and then I want to go out and buy that game. Thus, therefore, it's done its work, and there's hardly anything you have to do for it. And that's one thing. When they said it was 220 million screen captures, I was like, wow, that is impressive. And the fact is now that you can upload it straight to YouTube, and again, I'm guessing you can probably speak into it, so it makes things of Let's Plays a lot different, but we'll kind of figure out when it comes with the content ID of YouTube later on if it's like, you can't do that, how dare you. But I kind of thought that was a big massive finger to Nintendo, because Nintendo don't support this. Well, they do in their affiliate program, but that's a whole nother video. Having all this sort of specifications, like 25% of PS4s are connected online, 1.25 billion hours played online, which again is very impressive. Again, 220 million screen captures. He talked about having a screen with the screen captures, like on your newsfeed, you can watch your friends play it, and then they can interact and they can say stuff. And again, this is another thing of like some games will actually have the interaction for you, so you can play it and you can have fun. Now the Sony TV or the Sony Play, whatever they were talking about, this was very impressive and this caught my attention. Now say for example, I don't want to go buy a PS4, I want to just not bother, but I had a Sony TV. I could actually just play it on their network, sign up for an account, and all I'd need, as they said, is a control pad. This is amazing. I like this idea because it means that I can play some games via the network and don't have to bother actually going out and playing a PS4. So if my friends were really into Minecraft and I wanted to join their world and they only had a PlayStation, I can just pick up a plant and I can play that. Some of the games they were mentioning: Dead Space 3, God of War Ascension, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ratchet & Clank Ultra Street Fighter Arcade Edition or something. This was different. I thought this was cool. You know, these sorts of games some of my friends play. So it means I can just jump in and I can play games with them. And again, without having to spend X amount of money on a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 just to play these games with my friends. So very well done, guys. I really liked what you did there. Now they talked briefly about the Vita, and after watching all the comments and listening to them, and also the comments literally on their forums, they were saying that the Vita didn't get much attention. They briefly talked about it, and they said that you know, you've got a deep library of games to play, you've got your remote play, Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed, and they said there's 100 Vita games coming out, such as Tales of Heart R, Child of Light, Tale of Borderlands or something, Minecraft full game, and this is all on the Vita that you can play. And again, this is really cool. So it means that the Vita is still getting a little bit of stuff, but it's not getting the much love that people wanted, I think, what they were promising last year. But oh well. Again, I want a Vita still, but I don't know if it's, you know, it depends on what comes out over the next year, and I really wish Sony kind of focused on it, like dedicated some of the time rather than just all games for the PS4. Now again, they talked really about the PlayStation TV network thing they're doing on PlayStation TV, where you can connect it, and you know, if say for example, if I was living with other people and they were playing their PlayStation 4, I can then play PlayStation upstairs in my room if I had this PlayStation box thing. And there was a few things that you'd get, like special deals, like it's going to cost $99, so I'm guessing it's going to be £99 over here or a little bit cheaper. And if you wanted to go for a bundle, I think it was $139, and you got like Lego Movie Game, you got HDMI cable, a control pad, and Apple and PlayStation TV. Now they played a few things, Powers. Now I skipped this because even though it had the head guy from Marvel or looking over Marvel and whatnot, I just didn't want to listen to this, so I kind of skipped it. And I watched the Ratchet & Clank film. That was cool, that was interesting. I like the voice of Spider-Man. One thing that did catch my eye was The Last of Us, which was going to be remastered, and they showed something else extra for it. And I like this because this is the only reason why I'd go out and buy PS3. So now if I wanted to just solely concentrate on PS4, I'd actually buy this for The Last of Us, because I like the look of the game, and from what it is, it looks absolutely amazing. People have been going on about it and they love it, and I would like to experience that. Now they did show Metal Gear Solid 5, and to be honest, I was bored of it. I don't know what it was. After a while I was watching it, I just skipped into it, or I was writing and I couldn't be bothered with it. That's really bad because I love Metal Gear Solid, but when watching this, it just didn't kind of engage me a lot and I didn't like it, so I kind of skipped it on. It looked okay, but to be honest, it didn't really, it was just a load of random scenes together, so there was no quick intro, and I think it lasted for like 5 minutes or something. Now I was hoping that they would have done this and it would be like a 3-minute thing to actually engage like a quick level demo. Now the last 3 games of the PlayStation conference that they did, That was what got me, and that's what made me think, wow, this is really cool. So you had GTA 5, and that's finally coming to, I think, Xbox, to PlayStation 4 and to PC, but it looked absolutely stunning. I really liked this. I thought this was unique, a special thing, and it looked revved up, the graphics looked beautiful, and they were saying that there's more power for it, so therefore it means that we'll probably get some more stuff. I don't know if it's going to be a direct port or there'll be some extra footage for it, but who knows, it might be cool to actually see what they're doing, and I might actually finish my gameplay of it. One thing they said that if you want to play online and say for example you didn't want to have your Xbox anymore, you could transfer your online saved data and all your characters and all that, keep it intact, transferring from the 360 to the PS4. That was absolutely amazing, and I didn't think I'd ever hear someone on the Sony stand go Xbox 360. I was like, wow, you guys have actually done a good thing, and for people who want to transfer their saved data to this brand new, beautiful, stunning looking game, well done. So I like that kind of integration. Now, probably one of the biggest things was Batman. This looked beautiful. Now, I have not really said this much about a Batman Arkham game because, to be honest, they're not bad. They are very well thought, and I like the way they put it. But when I was watching this, oh my god, it looked beautiful. I did like the fact that when he was putting on his suit, it reminded me of Iron Man, and the way it worked. But the way that he looked around the city, oh my god, it looked stunning a lot of time. And I'm hoping it's not one of those things where it's in a box, it's an open world that you can explore everything of Gotham. But the gameplay looked beautiful, and they got the Batmobile. Now, when you jumped in the Batmobile, I was thinking, when I get this game, I want to wreck it, because it was just plowing through stuff. The weapon systems, the interface, the way that it drove, it looked amazing, and the way that Batman flew through the city, or glided should I say, was absolutely perfect. It showed a lot of detail, and this is something that I'm really looking forward to from when it comes out. Again, I think this is going to be a very good game, and since it's probably going to be all of them that have come out, a lot of time and effort's gone into it, and this is something that I really wish, I'm hoping that, I think it's been put back a while, but I'm glad they did or whatnot, because it just means that this game's going to come out and it's going to be almost perfect. And if they do that, wow. Now, the last game that they showed very briefly, and it was a sneaky trailer, was Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, and I'm not really much of a big Uncharted fan. I started playing it at a friend's house, and I really like the concept. So again, with this coming out, I know that if all the other Uncharteds are on a PS4, I know that I would jump in and I would play that, because it's just an awesome game, and I just love the way that it says like, yeah, you know, you can help me, Sully. Yeah, you know, this is the last time or something, but I like the way it was, and with new Tomb Raider coming out, this goes in hand with it. So I'm definitely excited for this. So Sony, it was an okay show. The front part was a bit boring until it got to the point where they're talking about the specs of the PS4 or some extra stuff. That was the only thing that I could say that I liked. Apart from that, you know, the few games that I would get, Batman, Uncharted, No Man's Sky, Grand Theft Auto 5. That's, to be honest, the only ones that I'd want to get. So tell me guys, your question of the day is, what did you think of the Sony conference? Did you like it and did you hate it? And what are you looking forward to? If you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in a bit.